see justice in this city. Derek Chauvin needs to be locked up. If we don't get no justice,
they don't get no peace.
If we don't get no justice,
they don't get no peace.
If we don't get no justice,
they don't get no peace.
If we don't get no justice,
they don't get no peace.
You got a lot of amazing community organizers that put together today's action. Folks from Twin Cities Coalition for Justice for Jamar, make some noise. Folks from Communities United Against Police Brutality, make some noise. You got many organizations out here, and you got many black and brown faces on the other side of the camera. Make some noise for them. I'm gonna turn it over to Jay Yates. Give it up for Jay, y'all.
Thanks for leaving some chance, Tucson. We're gonna go ahead and get it going. We are supposed to have a land acknowledgement, but they are running late. So we are gonna go ahead and just start. We're gonna do some chants, buy a little more time for our land acknowledgement folks to get here. But first, I just wanted to say thank you all for being here. It feels really good to be out with community and people that I recognize from so many other actions. It's good to see y'all. Yeah. We at Twin Cities Coalition for Justice for Jamar are out here and organize this with the 20 other organizations, including CARE Minnesota and Families Supporting Families Against Police Violence. And we're here because, like Toussaint said, we want justice. We want to live in a world where people who murder civilians go to jail and face consequences. We want to live in a world where cops can't just do whatever they want in our communities. We want to live in a world where cops maybe don't exist at some point. And we want to make that happen by getting control over the police. We want to be able to control what happens in our streets. These are our streets, y'all.
Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets?
These are our streets, and we're taking ownership of them back. And being here is a first step in doing that. So, without further ado, we're going to move into some chants. And, yeah, keep the energy up.
Whose streets? 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 Whose streets?
we need some room for speakers and so that we don't get separated from our banner. Thank you. Next announcement is we're going to start off with a speaker from Native Lives Matter. We organize with Native Lives Matter a lot. They're really incredible people, and it's an honor to have them here with us today. Carissa is going to be speaking for Native Lives Matter, and is the cousin to Phil Quinn, Billy Hughes, John Taylor Wright, who were killed by police in St. Paul and Brooklyn Center. So give it up for Carissa.
Buju, Wasai Kamagoko, Indigenous Cause, Rissa, Indigenous Cause, Jaganashimon, Magizi Nindudem, Gakabi Kanganda, Gawa Babiganikag, Nindunjiba. Said hello, my spirit name is Wasai Kamagoko, it means Shining Earth Woman. My English name is Rissa, I'm from the Bald Eagle clan, and I'm from the White Earth Reservation. I would like to start us off with a land acknowledgement. This is Dakota land. In 1851, the treaties of Mendota and Traverse des Sioux ceded 35,000 miles of land, leaving the Dakota people with only a 20-mile strip of land along the Minnesota River. These treaties were incredibly unfair and were followed by more policies implemented by the U.S. and Minnesota governments whose aim was to continue exploiting indigenous land. In response to these inhumane conditions, Dakota people began to fight back, which led to the U.S.-Dakota War, which spanned from the fall of 1862 to the spring of 1863. Within that time span, hundreds of Dakota people were placed into an internment camp at Fort Snelling, only 15 miles away from here. Over 300 Dakota people died while living in the camp due to hazardous living conditions and attacks by soldiers and other civilians. Following the end of the war, 38 Dakota men were sentenced to death by the U.S. government with the endorsement of the bullshit President Abraham Lincoln. The 38 men were hanged in Mankato on December 26, 1862, which marks the largest mass execution in history. Following these events, the Dakota people were banished from the state of Minnesota by the Dakota Expulsion Act, which abrogated all Dakota treaties and made it illegal for Dakota people to live in the state. This applied to all Dakota, regardless of whether they joined the war in 1862, and this law has never been repealed. So with that said, I want to say this state is guilty of genocide, oppression, and injustices committed by the government and all of its white supremacists following terrorists, civilians, whatever. Since then, countless Dakota and Ojibwe and other indigenous people, along with our black brothers and sisters and other people of color, have been killed since then. And that's why we're all gathered in unity today to stand for our brother George Floyd and demand that he receive justice. Chauvin is also guilty of committing a murder of an indigenous man by the name of Wayne Reyes. Can everybody say Wayne Reyes? Wayne Reyes! Wayne Reyes! Chauvin is a serial killer and he needs to serve time for the actions he have committed. I was going to write a speech today, but I wasn't able to, so I'm just going to leave it at that. And also just want to acknowledge that Native people are still here and we stand in solidarity with Black Lives Matter. Miigwech. Native lives, they matter here. 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 Black lives, they matter here.
we want to welcome the Mexica dancers.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
I'm sorry.
Everybody back up so that we can get some space. Thank you.
Oh shit. I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! Breathe! Say his name! Say his name! Say his name!
Thank you so much for that. It's amazing. Quick announcement. Press, first of all, don't move closer, please. And then could you, like, have an aisle so that we're not cut off from all our people? We're sorry that the press blocked a little bit, but you guys can move forward with the banner. We want to be able to see all your beautiful faces. While y'all are moving, we're going to welcome our next speaker, who is one of the coolest people I know personally. Give it up for DJ, who is with Twin Cities Coalition for Justice for Jamar.
What's up, everyone? Thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up for Floyd, but also thank you for showing up for healing, right? We're here in the name of healing. And we also are here for the people, okay? Can y'all say that with me? For the people! For the people! For the people! For the people! Woo! I don't know about y'all. I'm nervous. I'm stressed the fuck out. I got an hour of sleep last night. Black people, BIPOC people, we can feel this in our body. That's what happens. Stress. I'm stressed the fuck out. You don't think I got stuff to do? I got shit to do. I play chess. I play Tetris. I go to Super Smash Brothers competitions. I'm ranked in the state. I got shit I could be doing. But you know, right now, I'm out here fighting for justice. And you know why? So this is a duty to fight for my people. Say that with me. It is a duty to fight for my people. It is my duty to fight for my people. It's not just our duty to fight, it's also our duty to win. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to stay out here. We're going to stay on the streets. We're going to keep our boots on the ground. We started protests during the uprising last May, and they haven't stopped since. Have they stopped covering it, the press? Yeah. Hell yeah! Have we been here the whole time? Yeah. Hell yeah! So, and I'm so glad that we're out here. I get to see everyone's lovely face. We ain't in that cage over there. I'm not sure, what do they call it? The First Amendment zone? The Freedom Zone? I'm calling it a cage, okay? And I ain't going nowhere near that cage. So I'm glad to be out here with you. So, I think the part that's messed up here, right, is look what they did to our beautiful downtown. It's a fucking shame, right? They turned this into a war zone. We got barricades. We got concrete. We got barbed wire. Let me tell you, the barbed wire is real. I touched it. I don't know. For some reason, I thought it was fake. I touched it. I said, that's real. Warning y'all, don't touch it, all right? Learn from my mistake. And it just becomes hard, right? As BIPOC people, as a community of African Americans who are still trying to heal from this process, to have our kids is there so much fencing? Why is there barbed wire? What is this? How do we explain that? How do we explain that someone sat on someone's neck for 8 minutes and 46 fucking seconds and the community is out here trying to do a healing process? The community is out here trying to get justice. And they feel the need to defend themselves from us. We're in the middle of a global pandemic. All we got is $1,400 to cover the last 6, 7, 8 months that we haven't had any work in the unemployment. And they're spending $35 million to protect themselves, to turn this into a war zone, to try to intimidate, and try to do fucking the system to de-escalate. The system is built and there's no to start. Why? The killing is continuing since they lent our beef. Let's remember, we didn't have to everyone, right? Nobody gets left behind. We've seen water. Nothing changed. It's on their ass here again. Jamar, that could have been. That could have been. They've entered, and that's the charter. Because names of the police. What we want is accountability. Going to do a civilian. These kids. This is about God. They keep saying all of the century. Everybody saw fire in the National Guard. I want y'all to say the community is watching. We are watching. We are.
And what I'm about to do is a poem I wrote, unfortunately, a couple years ago, and it is still relevant. And yeah, that's all the disclaimers I'll do for that. They want me to write about justice, but she never thought of me. Dear Emmett, They spat on the ground you tilled. Justice would much rather cut off your ears than hear your screams as your blood spilled. They beat you to death like whack-a-mole. Wrapped barbed wire around your throat like a rodeo, took out your eyes and tongue like Operation. Then, after being acquitted, admitted it to the nation, protected by double jeopardy, it was always a game to them. One justice never participated in, she just sat back and watched, like an artist eyeing a masterpiece on his easel. But being an artist, she never wanted to leave the mouths of the people. You see, we cherish the chant, long live the queen, but you were always royalty, dear Rodney. You were always royalty, and I know justice is blind, but it was easy for the people to see. So they took to the streets after seeing you bleed. And when all 4 officers were acquitted initially, I wonder if it felt like water was beneath their feet, or Peter was just out of arm's reach when they were retried. Did they feel that blessing leave? Skip the raft and the flaming arrows. At least you got half the burial of kings. While your queen, she was off somewhere attempting to pair justice and religion, but she's a godless beast that never comes when she's called. And there's no church in the wild. Dear Darius, I miss seeing you in church all the time, laughing and smiling as only children can play. Did you feel the weight of their knees on the ground above you as they prayed? Did you hear their screams as they said your name? More people prayed to you than Jesus that day, my God. And don't tell me he was at the wrong place at the wrong time, because time and place never paid for sin. I said time and place never paid for sin, yet this seems to be the period in our life where justice is always a part of our life sentences. We were trained to chant this sentence: no justice, no peace, no justice, no peace. But it's just us trying to get a piece of peace, and it's justice trying to get a piece of me. I'm not exactly hiding. You know where to find me. In justice, I wrote this just for you. Thank you.
No justice! No peace! 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 All right.
All right, we're gonna welcome Chauvin from BLM to the mic.
If George Floyd don't get it, 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 if Brianna don't get it, if Brianna don't get it, if Brianna don't get it. So I've been reading this article about system. She proudly holds which represents of the evidence. So when we pretty open and shut case, right? Is a snake, and the snake Floyd was evil. Floyd was evil. Evil. What happened to Sharp? Down to the law. Blindfold that lady raised. In the case of Eric Gardner, justice isn't blind. Slavery. The demand trial. Works. Slavery stopped even in America. Reparations say reduction want harm. So we hope his name. His name.
All right, I'm gonna. But this is about all of the call in live. George law enforcement, the minority men. Justin in the garbage can. Get in the down. Where still a hate crime. It was Jefferson Clark. Justin. All of support our stand by our families because our family never got that day. We will be as visible as destroy the evidence. It spread too fast with George. Years will get what? This ain't no paparazzi. See? Being out here with us, with your you might do is fight for what you know in your heart is right. So if George don't get it, 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 don't We're going to move it along. The next speaker is Jerome Hilson. He's a TCJ for member. He's going to be reading our solidarity statement from the National Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression. Y'all give it up for this brother Jerome.
Thank you all who are fighting for justice, for the conviction of the killer cop Derek Chauvin, fighting for justice for all of our people who are forced to exist under the tyranny of police repression. The knee of Derek Chauvin, which choked the life out of George Floyd, is symbolic of the knee of police repression that is choking the life out of black and brown communities. This must stop. This callous, brutal murder of our people must end without delay. We need justice. We want justice, and we want it now. The U.S. House of Representatives just passed the George Floyd bill to become law. It must pass the U.S. Senate, which is subject to being blocked by a strong racist caucus that presently dominates the Senate Republicans. We know that the U.S. Congress will not give us the justice we want in Minneapolis. Only you, the people, can. We want Derek Chauvin and every cop complicit in the murder of George Floyd prosecuted, convicted, and jailed. And we know damn well streets and demand justice, demanding that these killer cops be arrested and sent to jail. We salute you, freedom fighters, for your courage and fortitude, for your consistent racist and political repression, and for creating Minneapolis a great epicenter in the struggle for freedom, justice, and equality. We are proud to stand with you in unconditional solidarity. Thank you.
Hey, boots on the ground. We're here to shut this shit down. Boots on the ground. We're here to shut this shit down. Boots on the ground. We're here to shut this shit down. Boots on the ground. We're here to shut this shit down.
So our next speaker is going to be Jonathan McCullen, who works with legislative work in partnership with Family Supporting Families Against Police Violence. Give him a hand.
Hello, my name is Jonathan McClellan with the Minnesota Justice Coalition. We are a part of a collective of organizations that work with the families and community to draft and advance legislation and other policy initiatives at the Capitol here in St. Paul and in Washington, D.C. As Abraham put it in his second inaugural address, the principal task ahead of our country at that time was to bind up the nation's wounds. Here we are over 250 years later, still seeking to bind the deep racial wounds within our country. We are in a state of affairs of our quest to obtain justice and equality, with Minnesota being ground zero of the match that has sparked this outpouring of consciousness for our shared community. We are still here waiting to cash that check that has fallen on a bankrupt system of expedient politicians, administrators, and tolerant allies of the same in opposition to progress for a more perfect union. For far too long, we have been victims of this plague, and we are here to say no more. No more to policies that divide us based on our diversity. No more to policies that break up families of color. No more to hashtags. No more to policies that put all the eggs in the basket of white imperialism while paying lip service to communities of color and our never-ending fight for justice. No more to the boots on our necks of our children, our brothers, our sisters, our uncles, our fathers, our nieces, our nephews, our friends, and our future. The bills we are advancing are ending qualified immunity, police professional liability insurance, the civilian oversight strengthened, ending police-only responses to mental health calls, ending the statute of limitations on wrongful death, creating an independent investigatory and prosecutory body, ending prosecution for reporting police misconduct, access to body cam footage within 48 hours. This is also known as Kobe's Law, ending no-knock warrants. We also support the Hardell-Sherrill Act of 2021 and the Philando-Castile Omnibus Bill. Like the slaveholders of the South in the founding of this young country, the opposition to progress fights for unrighteousness. They argue for division, they promote through their actions or lack thereof a distorted reality that places one class of people over the other and fails to see the humanity and all that is sacred under God. They turn their back to the promise that all men are created equal and have been endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights. The right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We are not asking for a handout. We want your boot off our neck. We want a fair shot. We want a level playing field, not a hill we have to climb and fight with one hand tied behind our back, a knee on our neck, and a gun to our head or the head of our children. Law enforcement for decades has been pushing legislation to chip away at our civil liberties, our rights, our communities by pushing policies that absolve them of their crimes, weaken and remove checks of accountability, transparency, and justice with access to unlimited resources and unfettered access to our elected leaders. Our fight is for a lasting change, a commitment to the people, a commitment through policy that has had a lopsided application for far too long. In this time, with the events that have plagued our communities, it's long overdue. A saying I came up with was that we need to infect the system with the consciousness. When you go back home today and tomorrow and the next day and the day after that, remember that it was your conscience that brought you here. It was your conscience that tells you what happened to George Floyd was wrong. It is your conscience that brought you out last summer. It is your conscience that we stand on the right side of history. It is your conscience that helps us support each other. It is your conscience that says that the pain that these families are going through is wrong. It is your conscience that says the boot of oppression is wrong. We all know the system does not have a conscience, and that is why it is our duty to infect it with one. Thank you.
All right, y'all. Was that not powerful, y'all? We got to get them in the streets and at the legislature. You know what I'm saying? We got to fight it both ways. You know what I'm saying? When they say stay back, we say fight back. When they say stand back, we say fight back. When they say stand back, we say fight back. When they say stand back, we say fight back. When they say stand back, we say fight back. When they say stand up, we say fight back. When they say stay back, we say fight back. All right, thank y'all.
All right, y'all. So our next speaker is going to be Jess Sundin with Freedom Road Socialist Organization. Give them a hand.
Thank you, Destiny. First of all, I want to give a shout out. Today is International Women's Day. Let's hear it for the women and non-binary folks that lead this movement, especially the mothers and spouses and fiancés and loved ones of our stolen lives. So shout out to all of us, hey? Look, we live in a country where a man can be strangled to death in broad daylight under the knee of a murderous cop. Just like we live in a country that has inside its borders whole nations of people held down under the boot of empire. This country doesn't know equality on any front. Economic, political, education, housing, health, nothing is equal here. Am I right? And the powers that be, they want us to believe that's just the way it is. It's like gravity and daylight, like it just happens. We have to live like this, they say. That we have no choice but to sit by and watch our beloved community members die by our enemies' hands. Well, I say to hell with that. Are you okay with that? No. Hell no. We got this far, here today hoping these courts will deliver justice for George Floyd only because we fought for it in the streets of Minneapolis and every major city in this country and in every country on this planet. We said, hell no, the murderous cops have got to go. And we are here today because justice begins with the conviction of Derek Chauvin, and then the convictions of his 3 accomplices. But the justice we really seek is so much more than just the convictions of killer cops. We unite with the demand for community control over the police, because who else has the right to say who polices our communities and how but you and me? But let's talk about a world where it's community control over society. In Freedom Road, we say once and for all, the life out of us. We say let's fight for self-determination for the African American nation, whose ancestors built this country with stolen labor. We uphold the sovereignty of indigenous nations, including the right to control their land and natural resources. We say let's cut off the stranglehold of empire wherever it tries to reach in this country and beyond. And while we're at it, let's bring an end to an economy that is organized around profit and greed and exploitation, and build a socialist society that provides for the needs of our people. And we are not the only ones ready for a change. The uprising to demand justice for George Floyd was a sign of things to come. We're not willing to live in the old way anymore, are we? No. Hell no. So join me in saying, we are unstoppable. Another world is possible. We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. Unstoppable. We are unstoppable. Another world is
So our next speaker with Minneapolis and
Hello, beautiful people. Beautiful. We serve as the vice president and protecting our political, social, in a coalition of that came together like today and to honor on behalf of all the families fighting against a system, fighting against strategic director, people who are working around. But you know what? Fighting against a want to be really strong, right? We all rose up and became our most human selves. Not only did we recognize our greatness as presidents, our greatness for people of African descent. Policing that we see people in Ethiopia across the earth that we can't take for granted at all. Where are they? And unfortunately, people, we have the MPD. Have to model. We want them to model back to
to us. We are. I just want that my brother, he also is the VP, the vice president. We have to change, and most importantly, we have. I just want to say thank you. Announcement at 6:30, streaming live. So you in AACP. We have not missed a meeting. Like 3 years, we're consistent. We're going to showing. We're going to continue for this. Us go up, and we be persistent. Doing our best. Pick and choose up for it. Pick and choose type of race. Justice just for one type of and we are right there. I love solidarity.
One artist, speaker, but I'm gonna that band. Again, we on freedom, freedom. Is to hear a bigger chant for her. Hey y'all, I'm Serious Marie. Hey, I see all the beautiful faces, y'all. Thank you. No. Let y'all know every name who incarcerated. He got out of jail. The drugs. When they pulled up overdose department, not pyramid fire department. He did, but it showed whenever they got to the police station, officers dug and made for a minute and 46 seconds.
Fuck the police. Thank you. Say his name one more. Hurry. Say his name. Because of that, it's a piece. Everybody, Mister. I know you think of me so socialized. This world, when the media got a hold in our face from a place where you can tell us. Tell us why is it so hard for us to get here just to have a conversation. It takes all these protests and you pass facetious laws talking about civil unrest just to mask that footage from your frivolous vest, Mr. Oppressor. What is it that you take us for? Will you tell us? Tell us why does black bother you? I say Black Lives Matter, you say all or change it to blue. You take us for fools, huh? You send out your rats telling us manipulated stats to dispute the fact you break our backs for this country we built, because we did that. So it's no more ignoring, snoring. Wake that ass up, big fella, we said no justice, no peace. And I need y'all to say that last half with me. No justice! No peace! No justice! No justice! And that's what the fuck we mean. I can't let you forget, Mr. Oppressor, I got my friends with me. Let alone just these, it's friends all around the world behind this, so I'm done asking, you gon' tell us. Tell us what the deal is with these predatory ass police. A doctor and a counselor go to school for years at a university. These hogs go for 19 weeks. Are you kidding me? Give them a badge and a gun and then around our streets. They show us it's a crime just to be black. Still slave patrolling, just putting bullets instead of a whip in our backs. We demand a change in tactics and you paint on streets. Performative gestures to flip the script, nothing more than tic-tacs. So yeah, Mr. Oppressor, keep on slinging that leather, cause it's your system, no longer bodies next to line to get cracked. I told you, I'm done asking. I said what I said. Perceptions of dark skin have been branded as a threat. Criminalization of our young men a priority. I know just what it is you don't want us to see. In class, you start us off with slavery. Make our regal history a mystery because you and I both know, Mr. Oppressor. Once we realize our capability, you will be no longer. Continuously, you try your best to compress, and yet we rise stronger. Create beauty from the pain, masterpieces from your scraps. Our supreme black mother, Africa, she holds the key to us all. And once we every creating this system, it's not love what we got. Like the because the power of people don't tell the whole damn system.
Okay.
Putting their bodies on the line today. You came out here to stand for justice. When damn reason. So our black kids know love, know that they are kings and queens without being told that. We want justice so your white kids grow up knowing better. I want your white community to do better. And I want them to give us justice so your white community understands what it is. Now I understand colonizers came in here and built these buildings and gave all these rules out. Because let me tell you something. This isn't Derek Chauvin on trial. This is the value of a black life. What's on trial is the value of a black man's life. And I don't need the Hennepin County Government Center to let me know if I'm valuable or not. The verdict can go either way. I know that Black Lives Matter, and that's a bare damn minimum. Black lives are loved. Black lives are sung. Black lives are appreciated. If you got some melanin in you, I need you to put your fist up. This is one of the toughest states, the worst states in the country for racial disparity in education, employment, and law enforcement. And the reason this shit doesn't change is because folks don't talk about it. But you out here making a statement because the conversation is over. We out here marching. Everybody else, I want you to put your fists up. I want you to think about your parents. Who are they? If they could see you now, what would they be thinking? I want you to think of your parents. Who were they? Where'd they come from? They have some funny names? Mine did. What would they think of you if they saw you right now? Now get real crazy. Think of your parents. If they could see you right now, what would they say? Would they think that it come to this? Would they have thought that lynching was over by now? Would they have thought that white supremacy was over by now? Would they have thought the lynch mob was over by now? Would they have thought the Klan was done by now? Think of them. They're watching you right now. Repeat after me. You can be off key, but you can't be off rhythm. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. Ancestors watching, I know. Everybody. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. Ancestors watching, I know. Louder!
Ancestors watching, I know they watching. Ancestors watching,
Louder! Come on! So Judge Cahill hears it.
I know they watching. Ancestors watching.
Take them to church a little louder, y'all. Come on now.
Ancestors watching, I know they watching. Ancestors watching, I know.
Keep going. They're watching you right now. They're real proud. A little bit louder, come on. They see you right now. They hear you right now. They're speaking through you right now. They know you. They've known this moment their whole life. They've known this was going to happen their whole life. It's come to this. Now bring it down low. Ancestors watching. Who are the people that are going to come after you? Who are the folks that are going to come in the future? What future do you want for them? What mayor do you want in the future that's not going to give the pass to a Derek Chauvin, a Tu Tao, a Thomas Lane, and an Alexander Kyung? What future do you want for this city that does not let killer cops on the job, that maybe changes the name of police and cops, that changes the face of law enforcement? Keep going. They can hear you. What kind of world do you want going forward? Who are you going to hold accountable? How are you going to have this conversation? What kind of life do you want to live? We're still there. Bring it up. 2 more times, come on. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. Last time, as loud as you can.
Ancestors watching, I know they're watching.
Ancestors watching, I know. Justice for George Floyd, all power to the people, yo.
George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! some barricades, so listen up and what he got to say.
All right, y'all. So we want to make sure that everyone, including the press, stays behind the banner. Okay? Everyone, including press, stay behind the banner, which will stay behind the truck. Say it with me. Stay behind the banner. Stay behind the banner. One more time. Stay behind the banner.